Hello, one and all. Welcome back to the Mind Games. So, this is a special little feature for all y'alls. I wanted to do a live stream coverage of the Alone in the Dark spotlight, just because I was only recently informed of this, like, I don't know, a day or two in advance. And I'm like, should I, shouldn't I? And then I decided to go for it. So, thank you for joining me here. So we got about a little less than 5 minutes left before the show officially starts. So I wanted to make sure that I got online well in advance, just to make sure that everything was good to go. So, man, I've said it before. It's been a while since I've covered anything regarding Alone in the Dark. I said it when it was announced. Man, have I never been happier to have been wrong. I thought, I was convinced, because you got to understand the way that corporations are now. They're just worried about the bottom line. I mean, do you really need me to give you any kind of history regarding that? Do you need me to go into detail regarding how? Give me a second. Studios, big companies, like they don't see like big money, generally speaking, in a lot of these niches, especially these niche franchises. And look, let's be honest, and I said it from the jump, it's more like something like Alone in the Dark has more cachet with gamers, with the fans, as opposed to the big business studios. So not only that, but admittedly, it's not as big of a name as Resident Evil. And God, look how hard it was for the franchise of Silent Hill to make any kind of comeback. Oh my God. I mean, we collectively as fans, I mean, I'll speak for the fan base. It was like genuinely worrying, wondering, hey, is this franchise dead? Like, are they ever gonna bring it back? Like, have we seen the last of Silent Hill? Because I did a playthrough of last March on the 10-year anniversary of what was it? The 10-year anniversary of Silent Hill Downpour. And it's like, bro, with the exception of that PT trailer, which I hate to break it to the fanboys, but PT was not Silent Hill. I don't mean to be that fan. I don't mean to be, well, actually. But come on, man. Like, how many, like, no. No, and if you need any further evidence of the bullet that we dodged, look no further than Death Stranding. Same people behind it, Guillermo del Toro and Hideo Kojima. So yeah, we dodged the bullet. But, you know, if Resident Evil's biggest competitor franchise was having difficulty staying relevant or getting any kind of backing, serious backing from its parent company, its home studio, what did that mean for the franchises like Alone in the Dark, which they're not as big of a name. It would be considered a gamble by studios, and obviously not by the fans. So yeah, I was elated, and I said it more than once that, look, fans just come to the understanding that we're not ever going to see this again. And if we do, it would have to be crowdfunded and fan made, because otherwise you're wishing upon a star. This would be a child at prayer, expecting any kind of support for this. So I was happier than anyone that we got a comeback for this. And, you know, look at how the parent studio is dedicating a live stream, a showcase just for this game. So all that is great to know. It's a relief. I'm happy that something like this can get the showcase that it deserves. And it's looking like we are live in 4, 3, 2, 1. By the way, this I'm watching this on through YouTube, the THQ Nordic's YouTube page. I believe they have a Twitch channel as well that they're streaming this from. That's a little loud. Don't you dare! Oh my. What? That was a very Alan Wake. Oh, wow. Speaking of Alan Wake, nice. Wow, I did not think we were going to get this early. They just announced the release date, October 25th of this year. That's incredible. Meows. Oh, wow. That's good to know. Ah, yes, the puzzles. Oh, we're hearing all good things so far. What about any prostitutes? I'm new in town. Yeah, right. He's trying to find some moonshine. Would she? You sure about that? In Silent Hill. Is that the guy from Stranger Things? Ah, yeah, I'm guessing it is. Hey, good for him. Try watching the movie. Well, cocaine is a hell of a drug. I do kind of like that, the addition of a noir type of character. I'm not saying a detective is automatically noir, but it's a new layer to add. Plus, she's a insufferable chain smoker. Is she from something? That's because she's a meth addict. Oh, the facial animations are convincing. I like when they do that because it's not exactly easy getting all those nuances of someone's facial impression down all the time. Like I hate when somebody who's an animated CGI character, like they emote everywhere except their mouth, and their mouth is almost tight-lipped. Oh my god, like that, and that lip syncing always like messes with my. It's an uncanny valley type deal for me, deal breaker if you think about it. That's cool. Mm. That's a much appreciated touch. Well, I hope they, in addition to that, I hope that they made it worth that experience if to go back and play it twice. That's what the hope is. Ah, I've always found it interesting how early survival horror, they always how can they put it? They would go back to the traditional, dark castle. I don't. It's crazy to me how much more people look. I mean, I'm very much am included in this, but like I always look much more towards remakes of video games than of films. Yeah. I mean, it is expected that if you are going to remake it, it's going to. I mean, the graphics are obviously going to be a quantum leap, but it's still crazy to me how looking at if you're looking at the wallpaper that I have up, hello Ghostku 15, howdy to you as well. To me, it's still crazy to see the visual leap that these games have made. This one, and it's easy to say that this already looks like it has much more of a mood than the original because they were still getting gaming understood. They were still wrapping their heads around survival horror, but like this really does have mood going for it. And I absolutely love the idea of Creole horror. I wish that was explored more in movies, but hey, I'm happy to take what I can get when it comes to games. And the fact that it has a Lovecraftian bent to it, I'm curious to see how that will play out. Ah, the swamp. That's really cool. Oh, that's another thing. The detective aspects of it, I think, are interesting. I just got off playing the medium for Series X, and you play a paranormal investigator. They were very light detective aspects of it, but the fact that that's going to be more emphasized in this game, I think that'll have a lot going for itself, especially if you subscribe to Razor Fist the way that I do. It's very much lacking nowadays, detective mechanics, like true detective mechanics. Ah, that's another thing. The soundtrack can greatly affect the mood, so I'm glad. It's always a good sign when those kinds of aspects are emphasized or prioritized or taken seriously. Because I mean, look no further. If we're talking survival horror, look no further than the how can I put it, the impact that audio and soundtrack have had on such franchises as Silent Hill. Sound like you said big cakes. Ah, here we go. Uh-oh. Some cultists? Take it easy. She's gonna slap him. Uh-oh. Huh. So while he's exploring a mansion, it appears that doors are being opened in his mind. Awesome. Unreal. I cannot believe that it's coming out this year as well. So we're getting Alone in the Dark in this October, this Halloween, as well as Alan Wake 2. How crazy is that? Is that over? Are we done? Already? Get out. No. Hold on. I figured it would be short, but it can't be that short. Give me a second. God, are we done already? I suppose so. Okay. I guess that's a wrap. So let me just double check to make sure that this is over with already. I wasn't expecting it to I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be like an E3 or anything like that, but are they done? Seriously? I mean, that's really short. Yeah. Wow. I guess it's over with. Let me just check all the way to the end. While I'm doing that, I mean, look, I get that these types of showcases, they're going to show you like all the you know, one would assume that the point of these types of spotlights is to you know, much the way movie trailers show all the good parts, but they didn't show too much of the monsters, at least I hope. The variety of enemy types. I know these are going to play more Lovecraftian. I hope they didn't spoil too much. But everything that, I mean, I gotta be honest, everything, I mean, I'm thrilled that it's coming out this year, but everything that they spoke about, I was digging a lot. The emphasis on, how can I put it? The emphasis on, music, I think is really good. That's really important. Yeah, it's over already. Yeah, it was just 20. It was 20 minutes, and then what do you call it? Like 10 of them were just waiting until it began. Wow, I over prepared for this, which I guess is a good thing. So yeah, but everything that I'm hearing about this is really good. I'm glad, like, them stating. And they could have just demonstrated this. They could have just shown it in trailers. They could have just had an interview regarding their the approach that they were going to take with horror. But the fact that they're not doing jump scares, and the fact that they put that on Front Street, I think that's huge. I think that's really important. It's pivotal to get the right message out to your fans, and they need as much support with this as possible. Again, the mood that they are setting, it appears that you are going to be going to a number of different locales, and that's always important because you're taking it. I mean, the mansion is the focal point. Derceto Mansion, I think it's called. The mansion is obviously the focal point, and like I said before, it appears to have going for it mood. And it's great that they understand that. It's great that they're trying to build that, just because that's so pivotal to survival horror. And, look, they have to play catch up by 30 years because the genre has changed so much, and mechanics have evolved. ingredients to the formula have been added. So it's great that they understand that going in. As far as location changes, in addition to the mansion, you're going to be going to like an other world, it appears. That's where, the whole Lovecraftian element can come in. That genuine, now that I'm speaking about that genuinely isn't explored much within the filmic, the film side of the genre, where you actually go to the lands of Lovecraft as opposed to those Cthulhu mythos horrors or abominations invading our reality. So you have the mansion, you have these other worlds of the Lovecraft mythos, you have the swamp, and I'm so glad that they're exploring that, because if you're gonna go Creole horror, if you're gonna go Southern Gothic, I don't know, something about the swamp is just it's so alluring, and the fog and the mist and just everything looks almost decayed in there. And you have, it seems like a lot of these horrors are going to flood into the streets, so that's interesting as well. The music, I'm ecstatic. You wouldn't think that would be such a big deal, but again, I have to reference Silent Hill. That absolutely does matter when you're trying to craft a mood, when you're trying to craft an identity. And Alone in the Dark absolutely needs to be able to reclaim that, so that modern audiences, and it's crazy to think that there are people who've never heard of this game, that don't understand its legacy, that don't know what that name, what that brand means to gaming or survival horror. It's really important that they pack in as many ingredients, necessary ingredients, to this formula as possible, and emphasizing the music, the soundtrack is key and pivotal for them, in my opinion. The fact that the fact that you'll have two separate characters and they'll each play differently, which invites you to play the game twice, that definitely lends itself to depth of gameplay. The fact that even if you go to the same settings and deal with the same NPC characters, your interactions and your playthrough could be different for each player. So that's key. And I don't recall what her expertise is. If she's more just a member of the family, but she's more on the scientific side, whereas Edward Carnby is more the detective. So that I will look up, actually. I'll look that up at a later time, but it'd be interesting if she does or she does have an expertise that opens up that would obviously lend itself to a different experience, considering if you're playing as her versus Edward. So short as this was, only 10 minutes, I was expecting for it to at least go a half hour, but hey, I'm thrilled that they announced that we're getting this year. I mean, I was shocked by the recent Alan Wake 2 trailer that this was coming out so soon, because they just announced it. They just did the trailer for it less than a year ago, and I mean, to be honest, they did the reveal trailer for Alone in the Dark less than a year ago as well. So the fact that these two are the comeback kid, I'm shocked, and pleasantly so. It's very rare that I'm surprised in when it comes to horror, but more so that tends to be the case more on the gaming side than the cinematic side. Although recently these two announcements of the release dates of Alan Wake 2 and Alone in the Dark remake both falling or releasing this Halloween, those surprises would fall right in line with my viewing of the Evil Dead Rise film last month, because I was I had high expectations for that, and that still pleasantly surprised me. So I guess we'll close it out here. We've had an admitted bumpy road with these remakes. We're hot off the heels of Dead Space and RE4. The System Shock remake is just next week. Silent Hill 2 is down the road, and Legacy of Kain is a definite and definitive priority for the new IP owner, the Embracer Group. Last month was an undoubted shot to the plums with the cancellation of Alice Asylum, and admittedly, we are all still cautiously optimistic for reboots of Parasite Eve and Dino Crisis. But while we wait on those, best to temper our expectations, because as I warned with Callisto Protocol, things ain't always hyped up to be what they're promoted as. But it is still, for me, it's a great time to be alive in terms of being a survival horror gamer. I'm eagerly anticipating these releases. On the one hand, I'm happy, I'm ecstatic that these games are coming along, that they're not just being like, packaged together, cobbled together, and just shipped out for the sake of capitalizing on an IP or what have you. Because you have to kind of understand something. If you are THQ or if you are Remedy, you have to be asking yourselves, are we just catering to a niche audience and having to build up our demographic for a core fan base for this? Because, I mean, you got to think how fickle people can be. I mean, when did Alan Wake come out? 2008? It's 15 years later. When did Alone in the Dark first come out? 1992. It's over 30 years later. So yeah, there are undoubtedly fans of either IP, but how big? So it's a lot of, how can I put it? The stakes are riding high for both these games because they need to basically reestablish who they are. They need to reestablish their identity, their footprint within the genre of survival horror, as well as like rebuilding their fan base. Just because, like I said, it's been 15 to 30 years since the heyday of both of these franchises. But I certainly will be there for the ride. And man, from a content creator perspective, I got my work cut out for me, because I already know what game I have in mind to play all Halloween long. And I like to, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I like to have a mix when it comes to my playthroughs in Halloween. I like to do a mix of a month-long game that I'm playing, as well as new releases. So now it looks like I'll have to fit in, let's see, Alan Wake 2, I believe in the middle of the month it's coming out, of October, and obviously Alone in the Dark will be coming out in the 25th of October. So I'm excited. Please feel free to comment whether you're watching this on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Please feel free to comment what your thoughts are on this release, on this very short 10-minute showcase. What do you think about these franchises? Obviously, this being an Alone in the Dark spotlight, feel free to chime in with what you think about the chances of this granddaddy of survival horror making a comeback. And what is on the scene as far as Mind's Eye Mind Games? Please subscribe to my Clips channel. It's Mind's Eye Incisions. That channel is slowly growing. Another channel that's growing is my Rumble channel, which is Mind's Eye Inkarnate. That I'm looking to grow now that it is my official backup channel, both for regular streaming, watch parties, and just my backup channel in terms of my film reviews. So in the space of Evil Dead Rise, last week I did a director pitch meeting, what the Evil Dead Rise director Lee Cronin had for his 4 sequel ideas, as well as 4 of mine, and I posted my Evil Dead Rise review. As far as coming attractions are concerned, I'm working on a gut reaction to The Boogeyman that comes out next Friday. I will be doing a streaming setup video for how to set up streaming for Rumble. Since Memorial Day is this weekend, I decided I'm going to do a second version of my Heatwave horror watch list. Those are my recommendations of summer horror films, and it's been a while since I've done a watch list. This being Memorial Day, the week before Memorial Day, make sure, just a reminder, guys, to pre-order System Shock Remake to get the System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition when it releases. System Shock Remake comes out in a week from yesterday, on the 31st. So make sure that you get your or reserve your copies. So you be sure to enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. I will see about doing a Mind Games Scream stream this upcoming Tuesday, since The Medium was finished ahead of schedule by 1 week. So keep in mind that the Mind Games Scream stream goes live every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., 5:30 PST, and you be sure to keep it here where we reap the fear. You're resigned to your fate? Time to subscribe to your fears.
Come and play with us.